Buenos días, chicos. Feliz lunes. Hoy es el 1 de marzo del año 2021. ¿Creen que estemos en marzo? No lo puedo creer. Ha sido casi un año desde que los he visto dentro de la escuela y espero verlos muy, muy pronto. Este mes nos vamos a enfocar en la destreza de la curiosidad. ¿Sabían que la curiosidad es la fortaleza del ser humano caracterizada por un interés por las experiencias y las cosas, la capacidad de encontrar, explorar y descubrir? Entonces, este mes las maestras van a estar fijando en quiénes son los alumnos que tienen curiosidad de aprender algo, hacer preguntas, tener el interés en aprender cosas nuevas. La curiosidad es muy importante cuando estamos hablando del amor de aprender. Puedes tener curiosidad de cualquier cosa. Esta semana tenemos este viernes otro día de acurrucarse y leer conmigo. Pre-kinder a segundo a las 8 de la mañana, tercero, cuarto a las 8:45, quinto y sexto lo harán en clase. Este mes les vamos a distribuir una caja nueva por el Museo de los Niños y el tema de la caja es electricidad. Trabajando con la maestra Leiva, alumnos de primero hasta sexto van a estar trabajando con electricidad en esta caja que vamos a pasar en unas semanas. El día 10 de este mes tenemos una noche de juegos de matemáticas con la maestra Quintana y tal vez otra maestra especial. El día 31, al final del mes, tenemos la noche de bingo con toda la familia y vamos a dar premios a los ganadores. ¿Sabían que este mes de marzo es el mes de la historia de la mujer en los Estados Unidos? Entonces, este mes vamos a celebrar las mujeres. Que viva la mujer. Y hablando de eso, tengo un libro muy especial que quiero leer con ustedes. Ok, el libro se llama, Shark Lady. Lo voy a leer en inglés. The True Story of How Eugene Clark Became the Ocean's Most Fearless Scientist. Written by Jess Keating, illustrations by Marta Alvarez Miguens. How many of you are interested in sharks? Shark Lady, the story of how Eugene Clark became the ocean's most fearless scientist. It was Saturday, and Eugene wanted to stay at the aquarium forever. She wanted to smell the damp, salty air and stare at the glittery rainbow of fish. She wanted to keep watching her favorite animals, the sharks. Eugene pretended she was walking on the bottom of the sea. What would it be like to swim with her sharks, to breathe underwater with gills of her own? More than anything, she wanted to find out. When the summer came, Eugene's mother took her to swim at the beach in Atlantic City. Stuffing sticky gum into her ears to keep the water out, Eugene dove down, down, down. The salt stung her eyes, but she didn't want to miss a single fish. Constellations of sea stars speckled the pebbled sand. She imagined a silvery fin standing strong on her back, slicing through the ocean current. To others, sharks were ugly and scary, but Eugene knew they were beautiful. As she glided through the cool water, she wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. But the sharks were in her mind for now, only in her mind for now. Eugene decided to learn everything she could about them, so she dove. This time into books. Whale sharks, nurse sharks, tiger sharks, lemon sharks. Eugene wanted to know about them all. She also joined the Queens County Aquarium Society as its youngest member. Eugene's notebooks filled with sharks. They swam in her daydreams and on the margins of her pages. At home, Eugene's mother surprised her with an aquarium of her own. A 15-gallon tank was much too small for sharks, but Eugene saved her allowance to buy guppies, clownfish, and coral red snails. It felt as big as an ocean in her room. Their small apartment became an aquarium, a laboratory, and a sanctuary. As she grew older, many were still telling Eugene what to do. Forget those sharks. Be a secretary. Be a housewife. Eugene wanted to study zoology, but some of her professors thought women weren't smart enough to be scientists or brave enough to explore the oceans, and they said sharks were mindless monsters. Eugene knew better. Her dream was as big as a whale shark. So again, Eugene dove. She plunged into every course she could. Her laboratory became her home. From sunrise to sunset, she studied how fish grow, how they behave, and how they were put together both inside and out. Despite all of the people who didn't believe in her, Eugene became one of the smartest students in her field. Even after she earned her degree, many still doubted her. But Eugene's work was just beginning. Eager to make discoveries of her own, Eugene finally dove into the open ocean. In the Red Sea, Eugene collected hundreds of fish, including 3 new species that had not been discovered before: red sea sand diver, barred xenia pipefish, volcano tripplefin. On a research mission exploring to the Palau Islands, Eugene was diving alone when she encountered her first ever wild shark. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she thought it was beautiful. In Isla Mujeres, she dispelled the myth that sharks must keep moving to stay alive when she swam through dark caves, still and silent, full of resting sharks. Eugene's daring heart grew bolder with each dive. Soon they began to call her Shark Lady. Eugene had proven she was smart enough to be a scientist and brave enough to explore the oceans. As her courage grew, she began to love and understand her beloved sharks more and more. But she never forgot. Many still believed that sharks were mindless killers. Because of their scary reputation, humans were hunting sharks all over the world. Eugene knew that sharks weren't stupid or mean. She was determined to prove everyone wrong. Eugene fished through her mind and devised a brilliant experiment. Could she train a shark the way a person trains a dog? Were sharks much smarter than anyone knew? They were. Eugene was the first scientist in the world to train sharks and even learned that they could remember their training for at least 2 months after. Sharks were not mindless killers. Sharks were beautiful. Sharks were smart. They deserved to be studied, protected, and loved. And Eugene's dream was now a dream come true. So these are some facts about sharks that I will not read today. And this is a little bit about Eugene. Her mother was Japanese. Her name was Yumiko. Her father, Charles Clark, was American, but he passed away before Eugene was 2 years old. These are some more facts about Eugene that we could read at a later date. And if you're interested in this book about one of the first shark scientists who was a woman, it is called, I'll have to go back to the beginning, The Shark Lady. Pues muchas gracias por haberme escuchado, chicos, y que tengan bonita semana. Gracias, nos vemos el viernes.